With signing day very quickly approaching, set the table for me a little bit on what you expect from Colorado when signing day does get here.
I think it's going to be more bark than bite this weekend for the main reason you said. Deion Sanders is coaching a game at Jackson State this weekend. A little unconventional, but it's understood. So right now, the headline visitor for the weekend is four-star athlete Malachi Coleman. Formerly committed to Nebraska. He decommitted, but still has a relationship with Matt Rule. He took an official visit to Nebraska, didn't recommit on that trip, and he decided this weekend to bump Michigan to go check out Colorado. So coming on the heels of a four-star running back, Dylan Edwards, committing to Colorado just about a week ago. Now Malachi Coleman's on campus, and also we can report that he's not a four-star anymore, but former USF wide receiver transfer Jimmy Horn will also be arriving in Boulder today. I think he's going to also check out Houston this weekend before the dead period. So there is some action going on in Colorado, but here's what I think is going to happen. Deion's going to wait until that late signing period. He's going to have the month of January where a lot of prospects that do wait till the February signing day have already taken their official visits to the primary teams that are recruiting them. So Deion might be in a situation where he gets the final visit for a couple, maybe four-star, maybe a five-star too. But right now, I think this weekend is going to be a little quiet unless we get breaking news, but they do have two big prospects on campus in Boulder.
Josh, you always tell me, follow the visits, follow the timing of the visits. Who did they get to visit with last? Who was in the home last? If you can be in the home last, if you can be the most recent visit, it doesn't hurt your chances, that's for sure. And I'm just telling you this, I would not want to be having Deion Sanders right after me. Like the charisma and just the sell of, hey, come and play for an NFL Hall of Famer. I can get you to where you want to go. Even better, I've been where you want to go. I just have to think that's so attractive for a lot of kids. And you just said it, February signing period, what was previously National Signing Day. Now we have the early signing day. But the longer that these kids stay uncommitted or unsigned, rather, do you think that just ends up tilting more in favor of Deion Sanders, or are they safe regardless, you think?
Well, it gives Deion a chance. And one thing he can do, if he has a little bit of traction in December with a four-star recruit that maybe is up in the air and hasn't decided yet, what he might try to do is convince him to wait till February. Hey, why rush it? Come visit us in January. And I think that's smart because, like I said, you can only take one official visit per school. So say you're considering LSU, Michigan, and Colorado, and you took your Michigan visit in the summer and you took your LSU visit in September. Well, you can go back there, but the school can't pay for you to go back there. So it might be a scenario where Deion can feed on some of the remaining prospects and might have an advantage because they can come to Colorado and may have already burned their official visit to these other schools. So I still think there's some time for Deion to get some traction with the high school ranks, but you know he's going to pound the portal, and we're not even done there. We know what's in the portal now, and it looks great, but there's a lot of teams in the playoffs or in bowl games who have athletes on their roster that maybe they don't want to shake the boat. They don't want to put themselves in the portal before their team plays a bowl game or before the playoffs begin, and they're just looking around waiting. So, there's going to be more options than what we see now for Deion Sanders in Colorado.
I like what you said. If Penn hasn't yet met paper and Deion Sanders is on the recruiting trail, everybody's up for grabs. And like you said, the transfer portal going to be a very big piece we anticipate of what Colorado does in the 2023 season. Help me understand the balance, if you're Deion Sanders, between building your team for the future on the recruiting trail, but then also hitting the portal hard like nobody's business and revamping that 1-11 roster.
I think you hit the portal as hard as possible.
Yep.
This is we just talked about Mike Norvell's strategy of what he had to do when he purged the roster of taking double-digit transfers year after year. I fully expect Deion Sanders to take double digits, right? I mean, he took
20 at Jackson State. He took 20 at Jackson State. He's got Power 5 branding now to Colorado.
He told the team at the presser, one, he introduced the transfer quarterback, so now you got one transfer already in there. But he said, I got 10 more coming with me. So we can count for at least 10 from Jackson State if what Deion says what holds up is true. And then right now, it's about filling that roster out with as much talent as you can. You don't need to worry about, is this guy this year because we have other guys on the roster that are juniors and we don't want to bring in a senior. It's like, no. Whatever infuses the most talent to your roster as fast as possible, I think that's what Deion Sanders does this offseason when it comes to the transfer portal.
And think about how we would talk about Colorado this time next year if they win like 2 or 3 games. We're saying, oh, okay, well, the Deion experiment is going to take some time, or it didn't work. Or if you get that talent via the portal, infuse it right away, and let's just say Colorado makes a bowl game. Let's say they're a 7-8 win football team. Well, then it's like, okay, there's some proof of concept. Maybe this train's got a little bit of steam. And so I'm 100% with you. Infuse as much talent as possible into the 2023 roster. Show proof of concept. Show that you can come and do whatever you want to do at Colorado. You can achieve all your dreams by coming to Boulder. And then high school kids are going to say, you know what? Maybe I do want to go play for Coach Prime. You know what? Actually, that black and gold would look pretty good on me. So I'm 100% with you, Josh. I think that's the formula, and I think that's probably the way they're going to go. But going back to recruiting, with you being a national recruiting analyst for here at On3, Colorado, as of today, has the number 60 class in America. Now, I expect that to change. Coach Prime is going to hit the recruiting trail hard after the bowl game. But if we're just sort of having a hypothetical conversation here, how high do you think would be an encouraging ranking for this class right now? Like, what would be a successful signing class for them from a ranking standpoint?
How high can the Buffaloes go? Well, they are in Colorado, so they can probably go pretty high. But
altitude.
And yeah, altitude's pretty high up there. 65, I think getting into the low 30s is realistic. Now, Malachi Coleman, when you're recruiting, if you can land a Malachi Coleman, that's going to bump you up a lot, because the teams that you're recruiting, your neighbors at 65, are not recruiting, top 100 players like a Malachi Coleman. So you land one, you're instantly jumping probably 10, 12 spots. I don't judge Deion by anything that he does this class. This is like grab what you can in a mad scramble, but next year is going to be what counts. And Deion is going to pile it up in 2024. You got to remember, this offseason, Deion will be king. Deion, until the season starts, is going to be undefeated. What he does in the offseason, everybody's going to take notice, everybody's going to talk about, and it's going to be hype. The expectations are going to be high. Doesn't mean that they're going to go out and win a bunch of games, but no matter what, we know that they are going to be the king of the offseason. Everybody's going to be talking about him, and what Deion sets up for 2024 is really what I would judge him on when it comes to recruiting.
Lane Kiffin being the portal king, Coach Prime set himself up to be the offseason king after the 2023 season. Josh, appreciate it, man. Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.